Hey, so I got made aware of something and I wanted to share it with you. This is Eric Stanley, and normally I don't fund anything in the consumer space at all, but this caught my attention. So, a guy was doing a video on YouTube talking about competitors for a certain game and really a maker of that game. And so the broad category is the gotcha game. And so as you can see here, there's all this information about gotcha games. Gotcha is like little plastic balls that you can buy in a machine in Japan, vending machine. So it's the idea that you can get things and players and characters and stuff like that all through this game system that feels like a gotcha game, I guess. So anyway, the version or the game that I'm talking about isn't even listed in this top 10 from November last year by happymag.tv. But the game that I'm talking about is this one called Raid Shadow Legends, which is interesting because it's in this genre. It's kind of like this World of Warcraft kind of turn-based game system, and so there's a lot of programming involved in this, and design and art and all that, and it's on PC and Mac, and so they've got this website up for it. Doesn't really do the game justice at all, in my opinion. I've played it a little bit just to see what it's like, and the idea is you go up against bosses and build your characters and stuff like that. Interesting how this looks, because it doesn't look like this at all in the game. So anyway, and then that's kind of more like what it looks in the game. That is what you would see in the game. But the company behind Raid Shadow Legends RPG is a company called Plarium. So I looked them up because I wanted to see what was going on. And I don't know why Crunchbase is trying to send me to that. But anyway, Plarium is a global web platform for creating mobile and social experiences for hardcore gamers worldwide, which is interesting. This is a private company from Tel Aviv, Israel. And you'll notice that it got bought by Aristocrat. So I'm gonna click on Aristocrat real quick here and see if you can't see Aristocrat. So the Aristocrat Summary says that Aristocrat Technologies engages in the design and manufacture and marketing of gaming machines, progressive systems, and casino. And they're out of New South Wales, Australia. And they're a publicly traded company in Australia, apparently. I don't know their ticker, but wow, they're from 1953. And they're founded by the Ainsworth family. Interesting. Aristocrat Technologies, also known as Aristocrat Leisure and Baklakick Pty Limited. The legal name is Aristocrat Leisure Ltd. Oh, there's a stock symbol. So the Australian Exchange stock symbol all and there's their phone number. Who knows? You could find all this information. Anyway, that's the company that now owns Plarium. And so let's look at their financials. It says they're publicly traded. They IPO'd in '99. They acquired Big Fish, which we'll come back to that in a second. And it looks like the 4 acquisitions that they bought Big Fish for $990 million. I wonder if that's US dollars. I guess that is. And they bought Plarium for $500 million. And they bought gaming technologies for $1.3 billion. How is this industry spending this much money? interesting. People involved, Dan Yang, Chris Gottenholler, and Christy Hill. Alright, and so let's go back over here to Plarium. Plarium got bought by Aristocrat, but then Plarium bought Rumble. Interestingly enough, so let's look at Rumble. Looks like Plarium bought them for $45.5 million, and they're a San Mateo, California company. So Australia, Israel, San Mateo, California. Wow, right? Isn't that crazy? I guess I'm in awe in the fact that I didn't know about this. And apparently, Plarium is funded by Level 1 Group, which is an investment management group with a focus in technology out of Cyprus. So we got Israel, Australia, California, Cyprus. Wait, it gets more interesting. The number of investments is they invested in 2015 and 2014. They invested $850,000 in a seed round in B. I don't even know what B is. B is an end-to-end service booking platform based on social trust and location. Software as a service with a revolutionary approach on trust in New York. Okay. They also invested $1.5 million in Kazulu Studios back in 2014 that develops virtual mobile gaming applications and system game software. So then they also invested $1.7 million seed round in Unlimited Reality, which is a San Francisco company. So Level 1 invested in Plarium, which invested in these, and then Aristocrat Summary. Aristocrat, I guess, bought Plarium in 17. So they did all of those investments before they got bought out by Aristocrat. Interestingly enough. And this is a publicly traded company that owns a privately traded company, right? And then the people involved in Plarium. So Shalel is probably out of Israel. And Lebanon is probably Barak, probably an Israeli. And Michael Morgofsky is probably an investor. So I'm wondering if maybe these three were the guys, they put it together. But then there's board members, John Lunetta, who's an advisor, and he's vice president of sales and marketing for Vivu. And then there's Gigi Levy Weiss, general partner in NFX. Got 27 portfolio companies. Interesting. So I just wanted to share that. I thought it was really interesting. $500 million after spending, a lot of money. They had a secondary round in 2013. So it's not sure who this is. Oh, no, I guess it is. The investors there is Level 1. So those first founders founded it. Level 1 came in 2013. Yeah. And then they made those 3 acquisitions or investments. And that's actually another thing. Plarium made an acquisition somewhere, right? So let's go look at their acquisitions. They they invested and bought Rumble, right? Right. So Rumble, which they bought it. So they're showing that they bought that in 2017 after they were bought by Aristocrat. Just interesting following the money. The guy I was talking to, or not talking to, but the guy I was listening to on YouTube said that there was a huge amount of money in this kind of business. And I said I would get back to Big Fish. So Big Fish is a game development studio and distribution platform for third-party developers out of Seattle, Washington. So I want to look at Big Fish real quick because I'm going to click on them. So they had total funding for $100 million, right? They were acquired by Aristocrat, like we were saying. They're privately held, and they were founded in 2002. Paul Thelen is the founder. Interesting. I want to see what Paul does. Paul is... God, he's only got one company. And they don't have any acquisitions. Oh, no, they have acquisitions. So they bought in 2012, 5, 9, and 12, they bought Ion Thunder, Grubby Games, and Self-Aware Games. And does it say? No, it doesn't say how much they invested or what they bought them for. Let's see, Big Fish. Anyway, it's so interesting to me. I just like to follow the money like this. I wish I could see their actual financials. That would be really cool. The most recent investment was on B, so they just recently did that in 2015, and then they acquired Rumble in 2017. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I wish I could see the investments and all of that. Yep, Lost Island Blast Adventure. So Plarium doesn't just do Raid; they do a bunch of different, games. So let me go down to Plarium real quick. Yeah. They have, there we go. So they've got employees in the U.S., Israel, the Ukraine, Russia. So most of their employees are in the Ukraine and in Israel. Herzliya. So, and the games that they have are right here, listed right here. Raid Shadow Legends, Vikings, War of Clans, Lost Island Blast Adventure, Throne, Kingdom at War, Stormfall, Rise of Valor, Sparta, War of Empires, Soldier Inc., Mobile Warfare, Terminator, Genesis, Future War. So they're not just doing the one thing. Interestingly enough, I noticed that on one of the videos that guy had, that the spokesperson for the community at Raid was actually in Ukraine. At least she sounded like she was. She sounded very Ukrainian. But, I mean, there's Jewish Ukrainians, so could be she's a Ukrainian Jew in Israel with that accent too. Or I could be mistaking a Hebrew accent. But anyway, that's really all I got. I just wanted to show that to you. I thought it was interesting. I totally had not known about this world, so I just wanted to share that with you. And the news is that the big guys are getting into this arena. So Plarium's going to get some competition for raid, and so some of the big guys in this game space are going to start building out similar platforms in their own styles. So saw competition coming into a market, probably indicating that there was a lot of money in that market, and thought I wanted to share that with you. Anyway, again, Eric Stanley. I focus on B2B companies. We fund mostly in Texas, but we have clients all over the country, except California. And we also are buying companies and focused again mostly in Texas, B2B, privately held, tightly held companies. But always like to learn, and this seemed like a great learning opportunity just to see what was going on in this market. Hope that was helpful.